Hello, this is Peter Combs from Bidamount.com and PL Combs Asian Art. Today we're going to talk about fakes. We're going to talk about ways you can avoid buying them. If you've been collecting Chinese porcelain for less than 5 or 10 years, avoiding copies is pretty tough, but it's not impossible. It requires above rarely, if ever, turn up in auctions anywhere but at the major auction houses around the United States, Europe, and Hong Kong. The chances of your average auction house in the United States coming up with one imperial piece of Chinese porcelain in a year is extremely improbable. The chances of coming up with more than one is about zero. Unless you're shopping at Sotheby's, Christie's, Bonham's, Freeman's, iGavel, or Doyle, New York, you're not going to see them. The vase on the left here, by the way, is a real one. The one on the right is a copy. Most experienced collectors, about 100%, leave very specific instructions on how best to handle the sale of their collections. Great collections are always well documented, and upon dispersal, they are sold in one of two ways. They go to a major auction house or to a known established dealer to be sold. On occasion, they're divided between the two options. They are rarely, if ever, handed over knowingly to small regional auction houses. Just doesn't happen. Before going on any further, I want to clear the air on one thing. Dealers in mainland China cannot legally export authentic, fine, antique Chinese objects from China. If you've been buying from dealers there directly or online through auction sites, these guys are extremely skilled, they're very talented, they know more about Chinese porcelain than most of the department heads of Christie's, Sotheby's, and Bonham's. They've fooled them all more than a few times. This is also a photo from that same video, Faking China. The man holding the vase is a very well-known, prominent Chinese porcelain expert who came to examine their work. A version of the vase he is holding sold for $485,000 at an American auction. It was done in underglaze iron red. It was a fake, and these guys made it. When it comes to attending 99.9% of the auctions conducted in the United States annually that have allegedly imperial or highly important Chinese works of art, it reminded me of this quote. A famous gambler once said, "If you're playing poker and can't spot the sucker at your table in a half hour, it's probably you." The same holds true for auctions today. 99.9% of the auction houses offering Chinese and Asian art in the USA and 100% of the auction houses in mainland China offering items for export are all copies and fakes. The same goes for most of Asia as well, with the exception of perhaps the major auction houses running in Hong Kong. Quite often today, you'll encounter this, a collection. It turns up at auction with fake invoices and old collector stickers. Many auctioneers claim provenances ranging from Chinese missionaries to Chinese generals to famous collectors, you name it. They're all fibs. They're all concocted by the auctioneer and his consignor in a partnership agreement. This is a very common practice these days, so beware of it. Then you have sites like Live Auctioneers are invaluable. The listings always look very good, the descriptions are nice, the company will tell you how honest they are, they're very encouraging in getting you to send them emails to contact them for more information. And best of all, you think you've discovered this amazing auction that nobody else had, because there aren't any bids. If this is you at some point, run for your life. I've lost track of how many times I've heard people say to me who attend these auctions, what about the Chinese buyers? They're all there. They're at these auctions. This means absolutely nothing. And it plays into the assumption that all Chinese people understand Chinese art. Most Chinese buyers are no more knowledgeable another collection of good books. All right, it requires patience and thought, but it also includes getting good information and having good advice at your fingertips. So don't be afraid to build a great library for yourself. We own thousands of them. Well, having good books is terrific. Remember one thing, the forgers also know what is in all those books too. They'll make sure you find what you think should be there. Books are great, but nothing is better than handling tens of thousands of pieces. And if possible, do it with a good dealer by your side. Don't be a tire kicker, though. You're doing it for fun. He or she is doing it for a living. So quid pro quo. Patronize your dealer. Do business with him. Was built with the help of a good dealer, without exceptions, regardless of whether it's American art or Chinese art. It doesn't make any difference. It also makes collecting a lot more fun. An active dealer sees more in a month than the average collector sees in a year or two. So build relationships with long-term knowledgeable dealers. This is essential to your success. Not worrying and having the peace of mind alone is well worth it. Also, get to know the folks at the bigger auction houses too. They're nice people and are always willing to share information. However, don't become a phone pest. They're incredibly busy. So make the time to attend auction previews when it's likely to be quiet and ask lots of questions. They'll be happy to help you. They'll answer your questions and you'll find them very accommodating. So the next question is, are Sotheby's, Christie's, and Bonhams the only reliable auction houses you can look to for help to buy and learn? No, not at all. The others you can work with closely are also Doyle's in New York, iGabble, and Freeman's. They're all run by very nice people. They'll accommodate you, and they do a good job. They're just not as well known as the other three, but they're excellent as well. Another great resource or set of resources for learning more about Chinese art is to join a ceramic society. They're around. You can find them on the internet. Also, join a few good museums. Most of the major museums have their collections online now. You can bookmark them and learn from them. But also join, because you'll get information about upcoming lectures, exhibitions, and they can be incredibly informative. So take the time to do it. Another resource for learning and getting connected to all these things is on our website, Bidamount.com. If you're interested in learning about Chinese art and antiques, you might want to get to know us too. We're dealers. We've been in the business now for decades. So what we did a few years ago was we built the website Bidamount.com. We did it as a resource for dealers and collectors and fans of Asian art. And on the site, you'll find regular blogs about upcoming auctions, past auction results. We try to pay attention to what the big auction houses are doing, rarities. We have videos, all kinds of resources. So check us out. I think you'll find it useful. One of the things that we're pretty well known for is our eBay newsletter. eBay has currently over 600,000 items at any given time in the Asian antiques category, and 99.07% of them are pure junk. But there's some really good things on there being sold by some very good dealers around the world. And we created the weekly newsletter catalog as a way to share them with people. We find them every week. It's well worth looking at. In the weekly newsletter, we endeavor to find that 0.03% of what's on eBay that is good, that's worth looking at. And every week we find the needles in that haystack and we share them in our weekly catalog newsletter. It's free, it doesn't cost anything, and we do it for fun. So take a look at it. There's also news and other information on there about what's happening in the world of Chinese art. So thanks for taking the time to visit here today, and I hope it was worth the visit. And give us a thumbs up on YouTube if you'd like, and please do subscribe. We do a video every week. And thanks again so much for visiting, and talk to you all next time. Bye-bye.